Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. It's big boy pants time in crypto, guys. This one coming from British Miss here at Penny British on Twitter. And I'm understanding the sentiment here. XRP Whale saying the final XRP shakeout has happened. Did you survive? Mike Manfield here saying it's not over yet. El Diablo Dictator Know-It-All saying nope, that's not the final shakeout. And lad, still much further to drop. It's going to be really nasty. Welshie Outdoors here saying, heard this many times before, and here we are again. Strokey Bill saying, see you Sunflower Day. I'll never sell in a dip, says Andrew Campbell. Adrian Phillips here saying, I don't think it's the final shakeout. It will be more major. Now, guys, of course, if you've been living under a rock, you probably have not seen what has happened in the crypto space. Bitcoin has gone down below this particular level of support here. And I know I was saying on the channel, if we do get below this level, we should consider bearish sentiment. However, there are some more factors here, positive factors that I wanted to address here before we go full bear mode. I'm also going to be addressing this in more detail at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. I think I'm going to be putting out a special post today for my subscribers over there at Patreon. Let's take a look at what the rest of the crypto market is doing. Okay, blockchain backer here saying, half of the coins I stabbed at last week stopped out on that move, but the world hasn't broken into oblivion yet. Bitcoin is now at the range lows and the altcoin market cap reached the 50-week moving average. So that is okay. Seems like an important confluence to bounce and maintain a trend. So what he's looking at here, altcoins hitting that SMA 50 over there, Bitcoin falling down into this range low. Now, granted, this was from several hours ago. Since then, Bitcoin has cratered even further. We've got Dark Horse here saying, everyone's checking their crypto portfolio right now and going, what the F? I want to remind you, we had the Bitcoin halving at the same time as the ETF. So here's where we get into some factors that we should consider. And just taking a look at this Bitcoin rally, comparing it to the last cycle and seeing what's different, because I think if we can understand what's different, we can really get into why this is occurring. Okay, Bitcoin's average price to create was 23,000 now because of the halving. It should have been around 43,000 before the halving happened. I discussed on a live the price prediction of BTC, and a huge majority of that live audience agrees around $50,000 to $55,000. So right now a Bitcoin is, it's currently going for about 55.1 as of the time of this recording. We did dip down into very scary territory. We did go as low as about 53.5. But now we're back up to 55.1. So we're going to get to the prices in a second here. So he's saying, that should have been the cost to produce plus profits. Miners would withhold Bitcoin to increase the price action like prior years to ensure profitable returns on mine BTC. But then we had the Bitcoin ETF, which majorly increased the price action, overinflated and created rarity in the market plus hype. Now the hype has deflated and the ETF owners are wanting bigger bags. They have allowed the deflation of Bitcoin to come back into the miners' control. So because of this ETF, it kind of messed up this whole, what generally happens in the Bitcoin cycle. We did hit all-time highs before the halving happened, which has never happened before. So extra hype, guys, which means now the market has to regulate itself. It has to almost readjust based on this FOMO hype, too much FOMO hype, I think, early on in the cycle. So now it's just correcting aggressively, and we're seeing we're feeling the outcome of that right now. He goes on to say all this was predictable and runs along major calendars of the BTC halving. The ETFs and the investment banks are messing with prior patterns. So again, guys, ETFs, institutional money coming in, this is messing up what we have come to believe was normal for Bitcoin, or what we have seen in the past. That is changing a little bit. Bull run is still incoming in my thought process. This is just a premature move up to 70,000, and now the party's over, and we go limp for a few months before getting a full-blown bull run for alts later. So Dark Horse here, still optimistic. Just look at the old pattern and move it right a couple of months due to the investment interference of the ETF. So let's take a closer look at Bitcoin right now. So this level that I was, discussing as a crucial level to maintain, 56,600, that has clearly been broken now. Let me throw this on the hourly. As you guys can see, we did dip down even further. And, I have a feeling, even though currently what we are seeing is a move up, a fairly strong move to the upside right now on the hourly. And even though we're trading in and around $55,000, I have a feeling that this could crater lower before we see new highs. Now, the reason I say that, just from a technical perspective here, is because of this, guys. We have seen a level of resistance form in and around here, in and around 51,000, anywhere from 50 to 50, let's call it 50 to 52,500 dollars per BTC, right? So in and around this zone, down and around here, what we have seen in the past is Bitcoin just kind of hover in and around that area, right and around here. So if we come back, I could see us coming back. Let me actually get rid of this just to show you guys a little better here. What I could see is, even though we have come up, even though we've pulled up a little bit over the summer, what I could see is us dipping back down into this zone before moving to the upside. And that's just from a technical perspective. Now, some other factors that we should consider, I guess let's take a look at what the market sentiment is right now. As you guys can see, we have dipped now far into fear. We are at 38 on the fear and greed index. So we haven't seen those numbers for a while. Market cap is now hovering just above $2 trillion. We've been sitting at 2.25 roughly for quite a while. That is down 5.45%. And market volume is up 33.8% because there has been a huge sell-off. But Bitcoin dominance, guys, has creeped up, meaning that even though Bitcoin has deteriorated, most of the altcoins have shed their gains compared to Bitcoin. So comparatively, the altcoin market has been decimated compared to Bitcoin, has shed most of those gains, or more of the gains that they have accumulated vis-a-vis Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is only down 4.89% in the last 24 hours only. I put in very strong air quotes because Ethereum is down 7.7%. BNB coin is down 9.37%. Solana is down 3.97%. XRP is down 8.62%. And the list goes on and on. Some of these coins double digits, like Dogecoin is down double digits. Cardano's down double digits. Shiba Inu, Chainlink, BCH, and the list goes on and on. So not too great for the crypto space at the moment, but when you know what you hold and when you understand these market cycles and the market moves and the reasons behind them. So guys, some reasons for this and why we should look at this under a specific microscope. Whalewire here posting this. On-chain data confirms this is the second largest liquidation event in Bitcoin's entire history. So we also have to consider that. The first one was right after the FTX collapse in November of 2022. And you guys remember what happened in November of 2022. Let me remind you about what happened then. That was, the quote-unquote black swan event that brought Bitcoin from here in and around here, $21,000 per coin, and brought it down all the way down to about $15,000, $16,000. So that event alone brought Bitcoin down 24%, okay? And so that was the largest. Second largest, guys, is what we're seeing today. And this isn't even a black swanny kind of thing. This comes amidst news that Germany is selling $3.5 billion worth of seized Bitcoin, and Mt. Gox plans to pay back $8.5 billion to creditors, with the majority expected to be sold. So these are some factors that we must consider. Let me just go over this briefly for you guys. Mt. Gox begins repayments in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. The defunct crypto exchange announced last month that it will begin repayments in July. So chances are we're seeing, some of this based on the Mt. Gox situation. They said on Friday that they have started repayments to customers, ending a near 10-year-long wait for some users to get their crypto back. The defunct crypto exchange was once the world's top crypto exchange, handling over 70% of all Bitcoin transactions in its early years. The exchange went bankrupt after a hack in early 2014, resulting in the loss of an estimated 740,000 Bitcoin. So that is a big deal. And considering they are going to be paying the Bitcoin back, this means that, all these people who did not have their Bitcoin in the past are now going to be, and this is Bitcoin, don't forget, from 2014, 2013, before that. And you got to think to yourself, they haven't had the Bitcoin for so long, 10 years. They were into Bitcoin back in 2013, 2014. And so now, if they are owed, I don't know, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 Bitcoin, think of how much money that is. That is billions and billions of dollars sent to these people who were probably looking to cash out years and years ago. So what is this going to mean for Bitcoin price? The pressure of, Bitcoin going downward. Again, it wouldn't surprise me if we did see a Bitcoin now hovering in and around the same level of support that we saw from back in February. So something to be mindful of. The other thing that they mentioned there in that who was it? Whale Wire here mentioned in his tweet was this. Okay, Germany is looking to sell off Bitcoin too. German MPs, though, are urging government to stop this hasty Bitcoin sell-off. So there's a bit of an update to this story. German lawmaker and Bitcoin activist Joanna Kotar has urged the government to stop its hasty Bitcoin selling spree and adopt it as a strategic reserve currency to shield against risks in the traditional system. She said, "I urge you to refrain from a hasty disposal of state-owned Bitcoin," the Bitcoin-friendly politician wrote to members of Germany's government on July the 4th. Kotar said Bitcoin could help Germany diversify its treasury assets, hedge against inflation and currency devaluation, and promote innovation in the country. A further sell-off is not sensible and is counterproductive for the country, said Kotar, who also used the letter to invite 4 German politicians to the Bitcoin Strategies for Nation States event in October of 2023 to potentially orange pill her peers. So she is a pro-Bitcoin activist. And, she is stating that maybe the government should not be doing this. However, it is part of the government's plan over there in Germany to sell all this Bitcoin. Germany now holds over 42,274 Bitcoin, worth over $2.4 billion across all its wallets. So this all culminates now to this inflection point where we've got Mt. Gox selling off, Germany's government selling off billions of dollars, okay, as Whale Wire says here, okay, $8.5 billion to creditors from Mt. Gox and 3.5 worth seized from Germany. This, of course, is affecting the rest of the crypto market, including XRP, guys, and XRP liquidity here bringing this to our attention too. Since yesterday, 162.5 million XRP has been sold from the 10K and below group. So if you guys have seen the rich list, those who hold 10K and less XRP have just sold 162.5 million collectively. So that's about 0.16 of the supply. However, that's a large sum. 162.5 million XRP has been sold because people are worried, they're scared, bringing an XRP price down. Well, luckily it has rebounded as of the time of this recording. Right now we're sitting at 413.413. But yesterday, or rather the day before, we were in the high 40s. Now, XRP did go very, very low, guys. It did breach 40 cents back in the dirty 30s, as Jungle Inc. did say over there on Twitter. 38.2 was the low we saw. Luckily for us, it has rebounded. So what is this going to mean for XRP, guys? What is this going to mean for other cryptocurrencies if we're seeing, wallets like this selling off now? Mind you, these are retail traders, okay? 10,000 and below groups. These are scared paper hands. These are not institutions. Of course, institutions are likely going to be taking this opportunity to buy more. But XRP liquidity does bring up a good point here. If this trend continues, it would be 1 billion after a week. So that would be 1% of supply. Tomorrow's numbers are going to be a bloodbath. Welcome to tomorrow. And yeah, sure enough, the entire crypto market is pretty much that bloodbath. But not to fret, guys. Sentiment here bringing us some more information. Markets have continued to bleed, and social media is now showing historic levels of FUD. It is rare for an hour to go by where there are more mentions of sell rather than buy across crypto forums, and we've seen a few of these instances just in the past 24 hours, including the largest ratio of negative versus positive comments thus far in 2024 for bold traders. This is a window that some may wish to be a true contrarian and buy into the crowd's anger and frustration. So large amounts of sell mentions in social media. This is causing Bitcoin to dip even further. You guys can see it in here. July 4th, largest ratio of sell calls versus buy calls of the year. Guys, it's all fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That is what FUD is. But we're seeing it, we're seeing it manifest in the fear and greed index too. But again, guys, I urge you to just pay attention to the bigger picture. Very good buying opportunity, the best we've seen so far in this reaccumulation phase for Bitcoin. Because we're bound to go up at some point. It's not going to stay at these levels forever. And so, even if you can catch an XRP right now, trading at 41 cents, and it goes back up to 70 cents. I mean, we saw those prices just back in March. That was only a few short months ago. Think of it for a second, okay? 40 divided by 70, just real quickly here, that's 57. And then, so that would be what, 43%? A 43% increase in just that small move. I know we're expecting much more than that, but on a $10,000 investment times 43%, that's $4,300 just on XRP if you were to just buy in around here and decide to sell on the short term. Of course, we're waiting for a much larger move than this, but it just goes to show you, the kinds of gains that we can make, guys, in this space if we do put our mind to it and if we do, if we're purchasing at the right moment. Gargoyle here posting this. Why is BTC dumping? So he brings up some points here. Mt. Gox in Germany, he's prepared a full analysis here, which I'm just going to go over real quickly. Over the past week, Bitcoin has dropped from 71,000 to 57,000, a decline of around 20%, something we haven't seen in a long time. First, he outlines Mt. Gox. This cryptocurrency exchange collapsed back in 2014 due to a hacking attack, and last month they decided to repay creditors. Again, that is 142,000 Bitcoin, and that's about 0.68% of the total supply. Many fear that creditors will decide to sell the received Bitcoin given the amount of BTC they will have. This will undoubtedly impact the market. Moreover, a mere fear that this might happen is causing many to sell their assets. Then he goes into number 2, which I haven't really touched on too much. Bitcoin ETFs. That has made cryptocurrency price more dependent on the sentiment of large investors. So now that we have the ETFs, guys, large investors have somewhat of an influence over Bitcoin price. Currently, BTC ETFs hold about 5% of Bitcoin's total supply. At the beginning of this month, there was renewed outflows from ETFs, and these changes are also putting pressure on the cryptocurrency's price. Okay, let's go to number 3 here. Number 3. Miners. When the halving occurred, we did see reduced miner rewards, and that was back in late April. For miners to remain interested in their work, a rise in Bitcoin price was necessary, and many were expecting this. However, it didn't happen, and many miners are now forced to sell their Bitcoin. So if you have miners that are not profitable, now they have to sell their Bitcoin to stay afloat or to, pay their rent, buy groceries, whatever. Gargoyle here continuing, U.S. interest rates are also affecting this. Okay, the lower the interest rate, the more attractive high-risk investments such as crypto. The minutes from the FRS meeting showed that policymakers are unwilling to lower rates until there is more data indicating that inflation is moving towards the target rate of 2%. Number 5, we talked a little bit about Germany already. Okay, so they have a total of 2,700 Bitcoin that they're moving to exchanges from the government's wallet, and that has been happening over the past 2 weeks. So Gargoyle saying, essentially all these reasons combined lead to the current situation we are witnessing. But here are some support factors, okay? Positive news, guys. Major investors are not selling Bitcoin, so that's great news. Despite Bitcoin's decline, companies are not selling their assets. On the contrary, many have started buying Bitcoin amidst the drop. The largest miner, Marathon Digital Holdings, has not disposed of its asset despite needing to free up capital. It is also worth noting that miner capitulation might signal an impeding trend reversal. Statistics indicate that Bitcoin usually begins to rise about 4 months after a halving event. If history repeats itself, bulls might be able to drive out the bears by the end of the summer, and that's what I've been saying too. We could see this accumulation zone for the summer, and then by the fall, we're going to pick up again. Then there's community. According to Santiment, there's an increasing number of calls on social media to buy the dip, which I'd also gone over. People find Bitcoin particularly attractive when it's priced below $60,000, which we've noticed that is that psychological level. The image below shows statistics on calls to buy Bitcoin across various social networks, so I will link all this in the description for you guys if you guys want to take a look. Expectations of FRS rate cuts, okay? Despite most market participants being convinced that the FRS will not lower rates, representatives have hinted that investors might see a rate cut later this year. That would be beneficial for us too. And then there's the U.S. elections, guys. The crypto community in America is growing rapidly, and presidential candidates have not ignored this topic. After the latest debates, everyone is convinced that Donald Trump, who openly promises to support the development of the crypto market, will become president. If he wins, the head of the SEC could be someone favorable to cryptocurrency, and I think that would, make everybody happy. We've examined both positive and negative aspects, he says here. I don't want to impose anything on you, just conduct your own analysis and develop your own strategy. So wanted to thank Gargoyle there just for bringing that to our attention. APSK32 also bringing up a couple of points here that I just wanted to touch on. Bitcoin price fractals based on the power law support of the 4-year cycle, guys. That shows potential price action of the current cycle. Basically, here it is, guys. If we look at the 2013 cycle, okay, if we take that fractal, we could see the cycle top on December 4th, 2025, and we could see a $193,000 Bitcoin. If we take a look at the 2017 cycle, we could see a top December 16th, 2025, looking at a $271,000 Bitcoin. And if we look at the 21 cycle, guys, it falls within the category November 2025, November 8th, with a $227,000 Bitcoin. So there are a bunch of reasons for this, a bunch of reasons to be looking at this factor too. Again, a lot to go over today, and I will link this all in the description of the video for you guys if you want to go into more detail. I've been spending a lot of time on this, but I know because the market has been dumping, a lot of people are quite concerned, you know, about, well, I mean, not so much Bitcoin, but Bitcoin, of course. I talk about it because it's the leader of the market, so we really do have to understand why this is all happening. Jacob King here saying, you know, over $12 billion is expected to be dumped on the market at any moment. Over the last few weeks, I've been warning people to scale out of the crypto market. So a bit of a doom and gloom outlook here from Jacob King. He's saying there's no doubt we are re-entering a bear market, but we got to consider some things here. And I think Vandal does a good job of challenging this. I've been sharing indicators and warning people for months that a massive correction is coming. Before the bull run really kicks off, this happened in 2017. We saw a 40 to 42% correction, and in 2020, another 40 to 42% correction, both massive liquidation and dumps right before we entered the official leg up. So let's not forget that. What he's saying here is basically back in 2021 and 2020, we did see 40%, guys, before that leg up. And right now we are witnessing a correction. Let's take it right from the top here, right to the bottom of only 27.4%. So we're not even hitting 30% yet. He's saying this time it's no different. We're seeing the correction right before the bull run enters the markup stage. Each of these stages coincides with the debt refinance cycle right before liquidity pumps back into the market every 4 years, like clockwork. Yes, we will go lower, bottom, and then it's up again. Additionally, we have not even begun the alt season yet. So an altcoin season bull run, which could start in a couple of months. It's all about liquidity and the market cycles. So just to put things into perspective, guys, another great tweet here from Rect Capital. In February 2023, we saw negative 23%. April and May, we saw 21% down. July, September 2023, we saw 22% down. January, 21%. April, May 2024, we saw 23.6%. Thus far, we're only at 21%. The average retrace is about 22%. But, you know, even if that is the case, remember, these drawdowns get bigger and bigger the higher we go up. Even if we do see 30%, guys, that brings us right back here in this zone. So I would not be surprised if we in fact did see this, but that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.